I have a secret mission for you that will change the way you play forever. Did you notice the white's queen is missing? What's going on? This is a game between a chess master and an amateur that was played at odds. But what does it mean? It's when your friend is very bad at chess and you feel bad for him. So you give him the queen to give him a chance. But Chesscape, we all heard the queen is worth 9 points, right? Wrong. Stockfish thinks I start the game like this. I know you're already on chess.com to check if what I'm saying is right. In game 1, the master is a tactical genius who plays against a 700 elo. I start with e4, the most popular opening move in chess, and opening up lines for my pieces, for my bishop and my queen. Except I don't have a queen. He responds with e5. Except the beginner never thought about the center. He just mirrored my move, because they have no freaking clue what to do on move 1. Good job, buddy. I'm attacking this pawn. Knight c6. We now know a 700 elo is able to see when his pawn is attacked. Nice. This bishop's mission is to target this weak square. I'm also moving this bishop because I want to be castling next, before his queen wakes up. He develops his second knight. Well played. I'm impressed. But I'm a pro. And there is one thing I know. Sooner or later, he's gonna blunder. He's attacking my pawn. I defend it and develop a piece at the same time. This knight also adds more pressure to this square on d5, controlling the center. Now the amateur is gonna show that he's an amateur and play this move. Knight on the rim is dim. He suddenly decides to take his knight on a joyride to the edge of the board. Big mistake, buddy. Instead of this, he should have focused on developing his bishops and castling to improve his position. He attacks my bishop. Should I move it? No way. I see a very tasty pawn on e5. I take it, because the knight also protects the bishop. I'm sure he missed that. What's he going to do now? He lost a pawn. Let's see if he gives us this one. He takes a pawn in the center. Very greedy. If I take him, he's gonna fork me with his pawn, attack my two pieces, and I'm in trouble. Smart. Let's push this one away. And now the big blunder happens. It took 6 moves for the noob to mess it up with this move. I announced checkmate in 9 moves. Hard to believe, I know. He moved his 2 knights over and over again. You won't win games if you play like this. Capturing the bishop was the correct move here. Remember, next time you have material advantage to exchange as many pieces as possible. What are we supposed to do now? Boom! Check. The bishop is protected by the knight. Usually this is the moment your opponent hates his life, thinking, how could I miss that this pawn was attacked twice? Now black's king is forced into the center, and I'm ready to fight. Awkward and unsafe square. The king must be thinking like, I'm going under and this time I fear there's no one to save me. I love this song. He's lost the ability to castle. It's gonna be super hard for him to connect these rooks in the center. And I'm ready to exploit this weakness. Check. And I'm also winning the queen. Why do I have the feeling you all think my next move is swallowing this queen? You know what's better than material? A forced checkmate. His king is on a road trip, guys. Let's see where he ends up next. Check. Wait. He can take my knight. I'm kidding. Do you think 2300s give up pieces for fun? Nope. I have an ID. He takes the knight. Good luck, buddy. Check. Don't worry. You only have 1 square available. Check again. Of course, I could take the queen, but at the moment, I'm hunting a larger trophy. His king. He moves? Should I take the queen after all? No chance. Check again. The king moves. This is what happens when you move the same pieces over and over again in the opening. Check. He's forced to take the pawn. And now, can you find the checkmate in 2 moves? Of course you did. Check. And no, it's not checkmate. This knight goes desperado, but all we have to do is take it. Checkmate. In game number 2, I start without a knight, and we're playing someone who's a little bit stronger, 1000 elo. Let's see what kind of mistakes he makes. I push the pawn again. All beginners know the openings way more than middle games and endgames. I don't expect him to make many mistakes here, but I'm gonna test him with a crazy opening called the King's Gambit. I offer this pawn as a sacrifice, and I know what you're thinking, Chesscape, you're down a knight already. Why do you give up another pawn? I want to open lines everywhere and free space for my pieces. I started the game down a knight, remember? This means that I can't afford to find myself playing an endgame. It's kill or get killed fast. He's a beginner, so he's gonna take the pawn. Most of the time. He's probably thinking, free pawn, sure, why not? But is it a trap? We'll see. Most people in chess don't like overthinking their moves. They usually like to play it and hope for the best. And it leads to disaster, and fast. I develop my knight. And now, a typical mistakes at amateur level. You're ahead in material, so you start playing very dangerous moves like this one. Very poor move. But why? Because it weakens all this diagonal for the king. And this pawn move totally ignores the development of his pieces. He should have pushed this pawn instead to develop his bishop, for instance. What do you think I'm gonna do now? Do you think I'm gonna take his pawn and waste time like this? Or develop another piece to be able to castle next? And also control this amazing diagonal. I'm aiming directly at this very weak square f7. I have nothing to lose here. I'm down material. All we have to do is play aggressive chess. I see people who are down material and they start being super passive. You get crushed this way. Obviously, our friend is gonna gobble another pawn. This guy needs a lesson. He hasn't developed a single piece yet. But yes, he's up a knight and 2 pawns. He is also attacking my knight. But you know what's more important than a knight? Putting your king safe, and also bringing this rook, who's ready to check this poor king very soon. He takes the knight, he's now up 2 knights and 2 pawns. I never met an amateur player who's not greedy, and gobbles everything he can. Let's punish him. I recapture with my queen. Another mistake a noob would make here, when they see a potential check, they just do it. He's probably thinking he needs to step aside, but I won't. Not right now. First, I sacrifice another pawn. Do you know why I do this? I want to free the diagonal of this bishop and develop another piece. He's gonna take the pawn. Now I move aside, safe and sound. And now what? Look at his king. And now look at these pieces ready to smash him. Are you ready to see the most dangerous attack of this century? But not right now. It's his turn to play. He finally realizes that he has to develop a piece. So he opens up the diagonal of this bishop. He must be thinking, maybe I should get some pieces out too. But it's a little bit late now. I take his pawn. He finally develops a piece. Nice. Except I'm now ready to show him who's the boss. Check. He thinks that he is 2 pieces and 3 pawns ahead. But look at his pieces. What are they doing? Nothing at all. Now look at my army. Everybody is ready for the assault. He steps aside. And now, can you find the amazing queen sacrifice? Queen d5. I want to checkmate here. But wait, the knight can take my queen. Except, I'm smart. That was a trap. Check, check, checkmate. Too fast maybe? You didn't get it, right? Pause the video and watch this tactic again. It's an important one. In the game, the 1000 ELO player saw it. He didn't take the queen. He also knew that I want his king next. So he protected this square. Nice. Except that was a double attack. Give me your bishop, you don't need it. He develops his other knight. But do you know what's better than 1 queen sacrifice in a chess game? 2 queen sacrifices back to back. This poor king doesn't have any square he can go to. This time, he is forced to accept my gift. The king lost his protective cover, the pawn that was here. Check. Can you move the king to one of these squares? Nope. Does it mean that you're in checkmate? Nope. The only move that black can play is block with their queen. Do you think it's enough? Checkmate. I have 2 rules for you. Rule number 1. When you're already down material, you have nothing to lose. You can happily give away more. Rule number 2. When you're ahead in material, refuse new gifts. Instead, use these 3 strategies. 1. Trade. 2. Trade. And 3. Trade again. Let's apply what we just learned with this position. You play with white. But careful, black wants to checkmate you here. Yes, it would be checkmate, because this rook is controlling all these squares. Let's count material together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're 2 pawns ahead in material. Let me show you how 3 different players react here with the white pieces. Let's first take the noob. I'm gonna show you what a noob thinks, then a 1000 elo player, and then a master. The noob here thinks this knight is way too close for my comfort. Let's push him away. And checkmate. Alright, I'm not impressed. How about the 1000 elo player? He would be like, he wants to checkmate me here, so I push this pawn to block. Your opponent moves his queen, and now the guy is thinking, okay, how about exchanging queens? But usually people at 1000 miss this kind of blocks. And also, this knight is super dangerous. He's threatening a fork between the king and the queen. And you end up in a very bad position with white. What would the master think in his head when he has this position? He wants to mate me here. He also threatens to infiltrate with the rook, but I'm 2 pawns ahead. I'm sure there is a way to win this game. Can I use Chesscape trading strategy? Went ahead, trade. Easy game, I found a move. I force a queen exchange. He's forced to exchange queens because he's pinned to the king. It's just pure magic. Now that the queens are off the board, all threats he had disappeared. My pawns will win this game. I know you used a lot of energy trying to understand everything, but I have one last example that you don't want to be missing. If you're still watching, you deserve a real beauty. You're playing with white. You have a fat 4 pawns advantage, but your queen is attacked. Your friend also prepared a checkmate here. Yes, that would be checkmate, pretty insane. Can you take the knight? Of course not. Do you see this rook ready to smash your queen? So what are you gonna do? Are you ready to give up? Or maybe just moving your queen? That would be sad, because your friend would repeat 3 times checks and get a draw in this position. Yes, when you repeat 3 times a position in chess, it's a draw. If you're an OG Chesscape subscriber, I'm sure you already found the winning move. You remember the rule? You have 4 fat pawns. Went ahead, trade. But Chesscape, I can't see any possible trade here. If you could find a way to exchange queens here, you would be totally winning with white. But how? Ready for the killer move? Sacrifice the queen. The king is forced to take. But now this fork gets you the queen back. Because he moves, you take the queen. But your friend, if he's a bad player, still thinks he has a draw with this check. You move the king, he checks again. But now, you go up the board, and he's doomed. Don't be that player who just eats pieces and forgets to get their own army out. Develop your pieces, control the board, and only then think about capturing.